Hello everyone. Is everyone having a good morning so far? Yeah, we're learning a lot, aren't we? So mine is slightly different viewpoint. So we are going to be talking about AI. Fun fact, surprise. But we are also going to be talking about how accessibility goes hand in hand with AI in terms of search as well. So when someone uses an AI assistant or Google AI overviews, the way they make decisions, who they trust, it's a very quick decision nowadays. A lot of people will go through the search, see the answer, and that's what we'll run with. And that's what we're going to be talking about today. So the camera that you see, really funky orange camera over there, it is part of a draw. So if you see this on a particular slide, take a photo because you'll be in a draw to win a very cool prize at the end. Ooh. So let's start here. This is kind of echoing what our brilliant speakers have been saying so far. But this is what people see now when they search. So it's not the first 10 blue links, although they are very important, please keep in mind, but one single AI generated answer. So this is often, sounds cheesy, the front door of your brand in 2025. So if you're not here, you are essentially invisible, to be blunt. The uncomfortable thing is many brands think they're doing the right thing in SEO, but they're nowhere to be found in this space. And that should be scary. So there is also obviously a psychological side to all of this. So which is your audience is taking this information and basically saying, this is the answer, this is what I'm going to run with. So if your brand is in this box, congratulations, you're on the right journey. You will instantly gain trust. But if you are not, your users are likely not going to look for you, which is the olden ways of doing things, doing lots of research, finding the answer. This is the answer people will be taking on. So what's really changed isn't just where the answers are coming from, but again, how people behave when they've actually achieved that search, when they have that answer. So your audience's search journeys are becoming much shorter, much decisive. So instead of opening 5 tabs and comparing reviews, looking at multiple sources, users see one generated AI answer and basically make that decision right there and then. So if we put ourselves in that situation, so imagine, for instance, you want to take your partner out to a romantic restaurant between 10 and 20 miles, serve a particular wine that you had at your anniversary, you'll naturally look at the top answers. Maybe look at a couple of reviews, how many stars, but again, it's important those first few seconds what that answer will come straight up with. So you yourselves will make that quick decision. So this is what today is all about, thinking about it from the user perspective. I will breathe in a second. Refresh. So people are now basically outsourcing judgment to AI as well. So users are weighing up sourcing themselves, trusting that system to have done that particular task or basically the decision for them. So it's like handing over the role of a life assistant, if you will. But because of this, brands are being judged literally in milliseconds, in that really short decision-making time. And to be honest, people might not even realise that they're actually doing it either, that quick judgment. It's just they're thinking answer and then go on to action. And this is exactly why this shift in behaviour is why the old tactics, so ranking in top 5 links, relying on people to dig for those answers themselves, just don't work in the same way anymore. So AI isn't changing visibility, so it's changing the psychology of how people actually create those decisions, move on to action. So when people see an AI answer like we've discussed, it is very quick, it's instant without even a second thought most of the time. But what they don't see, of course, is the process behind what's actually happening, which is what we're doing. So I've got ADHD and autism. I bloody love analogies. So here's one coming up. So all the content from the web is, think of it like a washing machine. Okay, washing machines live longer with cow corn. Sorry, had to. So imagine a washing machine. Okay, so all the content from across the web gets thrown into the drum. Okay, and by this I mean your blog posts, your videos, your PDFs, your research, your websites, okay? So then the washing machine, lives longer with cow corn, starts spinning, okay? So it's filtering for structure, the trust that we've been mentioning, the clarity levels, and then that obviously really important authority online with your backlinks and so forth. So some things get washed up really well, turn out really clean. They've done all the tick boxes, okay? Ready to be folded into a final answer. Others, however, they get tangled, they get lost in the filter, and some never make it out of the drum, like socks. Where are they? Who knows? Maybe in Narnia. But out of that entire cycle process, users are handed out one really neat folded paragraph, that first AI search answer. So they don't see that process that we're building in the back end. They just get the results. So now, psychologically, because they don't see that behind the scenes process, like we do, they assume that answer is correct. So the gap between the cycle and the next result is exactly where that exclusion hides. So let's talk about what happens when content doesn't make it through that process, because this is where the real impact begins. So there's 4 ways brands can get excluded. I've got the right thing. Yeah, sorry. And each one has a direct psychological effect. So first we've got bias training data. So most AI models learn what's already dominant online, such as your established publishers, mainstream narratives, widely linked content. So the answers that have important backing online, so naturally that means the same voices get amplified because they already exist. So when users see an AI answer, they're not obviously getting the full picture, as we all know. So they're getting what the system has already decided to be credible. And that often reflects who is the loudest, basically. So second, we've got the accessibility gaps. So this is what I call a silent killer, because if your most valuable content is locked inside PDFs, for instance, if you've got images without alt text, if you've got videos without captions, it's invisible to the model. And if that model can't read it, users will never actually see it. So essentially what I'm saying to you all today is it doesn't matter how good the content is, it simply will never enter those results if you don't follow the rules, if you don't have accessibility in that content. So third, we've got weak authority signals. So basically, if your site lacks the structured data or the credible backlinks we've been talking about, for example, the system doesn't trust it enough to make it show in any results. So your audience can't even choose a brand because they're not seeing it. So finally, we've got representative gaps. So if certain communities or languages or perspectives aren't reflected in the data, they just vanish from these outputs. So the result is narrower view for users and crucially fewer pathways from them to discover brands that should be a part of that picture, just like your brands. So again, it's really important for me to state again that users don't think about what might be missing from the search results. They accept that first AI mode, AI search answer that comes up. They think that's complete, that's the answer. So if your brand isn't the answer, you're not don't even think about competing with your competitors. You are invisible to everyone. So the risks are very, very real in 2025 and onwards. Brands can literally disappear from discovery almost overnight. If that doesn't scare you, it really should. So smaller companies and niches, industries, they lose that visibility that they've worked really, really hard to build. Marginalized voices are underrepresented in AI answers as well. Accessibility failures mean basically entire websites are completely invisible from AI search as well. So I really want to say that this isn't theory, this isn't ideology. I am referring to now, either, by the way, it's already shaping who gets traffic, who gets those leads, and that string of results in their niche as well. So we can't control necessarily the algorithm because they're constantly changing, as Charlie said, it's every day now. But we can control what they see when they look at us, when they look at our brands. So, and that's the strength of what we've got in this room today. The content we create, the accessibility of that content, and the trust signals that we put into the world. So accessible marketing is becoming a part of your overall marketing strategy. And if it's not, come talk to me. Because it's not about chasing a particular algorithm, but it's about making brands understandable in it and of it. So far we've talked about where exclusion happens and why it matters. And of course, it's obviously a huge opportunity. It will consistently surface brands that are clear, accessible, credible, and representative. So when your content is clear, really easy to read, that strong structure. So and this, of course, is making it easier both for AI to understand as well as your audience. So when content is accessible, it follows WCAG guidelines. So that stands for Web Content Accessibility Guidelines. So that is basically making sure your fonts are clear, color contrast is good, you've got your alt text on your imagery, the list goes on. So, and this will really help you in ranking AI as well. So when brands are credible, it's backed up by those trust signals. So like your schema, like your backlinks, media coverage to basically reinforce that authority of the brand. And then finally, you've got your brand is representative. So it reflects those really important diverse audiences and thought processes. So people want to see themselves in your content. To basically relate to it, to build that trust, to feel part of your story. So research already shows that structured, accessible content is surfaced more consistently in AI results than the web average. Like you can take it to the bank, literally. So this is where accessible marketing really shines and does its job right, because it really can help you climb in those search results. So how do we make this practical? What the hell do we do? So I created a framework called Impact, because it literally does what it says on the tin. There is technically two, so there's an internal impact framework. This is the external one. So first off, inclusive language. Make sure the language is really easy to understand. If it's a load of jargon, people are going to click off. They have no idea what you're talking about. So machine ready. So basically your schema markup, your alt text, your captions, etc. Prove credibility, so show your authority, author bios, backlinks, media coverage. You've got your accessible design, so your WCAG 2.2 AA compliance. And that is basically making sure your website has the color contrast, alt text on your imagery, content's really clear, the user journey is really easy to go from A to B. Your community and representation. So basically, does your content reflect real audiences? Broaden the content and angles that AI will see. And then you finally got test and iterate. So regularly check how tools like ChatGPT, Perplexity, Google AI reviews show your brand, as Charlie was literally showing us just before. So here is just what it looks like. We'll put my teeth back in. Give me a second. So on the left, we've got a very vague generic answer, but our business is accessible travel. It should be in that answer. So same expertise, same organisation, but because their content is accessible, they've done the job right, they've done everything we've been saying so far, it's structured, Inclusive Travel Co. is in that answer. So different structure, completely different visibility. So what can you do when you're back at your desk? So step 1, audit for, it's very high, isn't it? Sorry, audit, accessibility and representation. So start reviewing your existing content through the mindset of what we've just been discussing, through the other side. Where are the accessibility gaps? Are they in your PDFs? Are they in your imagery? Do they not have alt text? Do videos have captions? Where are the structural gaps? So do you have unclear headings? Have you forgotten your H2s, H3s, H4s, naughty? Is there any missing schema? So just as importantly, whose viewpoints are missing from your content? Being accessible literally isn't just about being compliant. It is a huge opportunity for discoverability and representation in your brand. So step 2, integrate SEO, definitely not dead. PR, accessibility and brand. So too often these sit in different teams when really it should all be all for one and one for all. But as AI search results, so these disciplines really need to work together. So technical optimization, accessibility standards, brand storytelling, all of these areas should reinforce each other. And this alignment can really strengthen those AI answers that decide who surface, and it builds user trust as well. So step 3, test your presence in AI. Start treating AI platforms as literally a visibility channel. So just like TikTok, where the younger generation are using it as a search engine, it's exactly the same thing. So regularly check how your content appears in tools like Perplexity, ChatGPT, Google AI overviews, etc. There's definitely more tools. So see what's showing up and what's not, more importantly. And don't just do this once, really make this into your marketing strategy. So AI is reshaping who gets seen and who doesn't. So accessible marketing is basically how we make sure no one gets left behind in your brand messaging. Make sure those underrepresented voices are heard, and make sure that our brands are creating that really clear messaging for all. So it's basically how we make our stories, our values, our impact visible in these AI searches. So thank you very much. That is me. If you have taken pictures of the slides with the cute little orange camera, congratulations. Please tag Tank PR and TaniaGerard.co for a chance to win a full website audit, and I mean full website audit, worth $997. Can I get a woo? Yeah, I knew I was in the right crowd. So thank you very much. If you do have any questions, I'm just going to stop breathing now because I get very excited and I forget to breathe. But yeah, if you do have any questions, I'm right here and I'm here all day. Thank you.
Thank you. Hi. I was really interested in what you were talking about with PDFs.
Yeah.
We do host some PDFs on our website.
Why are you saying we do host PDFs in the website?
And I'm just wondering what your opinion is of hosting them at all, whether we should be completely moving away from that. The reason that we do is they're reports, they're official documents, they might be financial, they might be auditing purposes, whatever. I'm just wondering if that isn't directly linked to our marketing campaigns, is that having a negative impact on how we're appearing at all, even if it's an irrelevant topic?
So first off, even how a file name is saved is being searched in your results. So I would say you can keep them, but make sure the file name is SEO. So if it's marketing report 2025, make sure it has marketing report 2025 in the file name. And then I would say more of a content way. So make sure your fonts are clear, make sure the color contrast is good, because remember, it's marketing is for everyone. It's not just a box, it's for all abilities. So again, you can't make everyone 100% happy. That's not what we're saying. But what we're saying is to have that inclusivity journey, one step at a time. It is a very long journey to make sure everything is inclusive, but I definitely start with the file name. I definitely start looking at the content that's in the PDF as well, making sure, you yourselves understand it, and making sure that it's easy to follow and a clear user journey, and more importantly, what you want them to do with that information as well.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
Okay, anyone? Somebody over there?
I'm here all day, don't worry.
Sorry.
I've got quite a big voice. I'll speak really slow then. Just on that then, so in B2B, obviously there's a lot of PDFs online because it's reports, it's case studies, etc. And obviously the reason why they're in PDF format and not just readily available is to capture leads.
Yeah.
So what you were just saying there is the fact that there's a PDF that's the issue, or it's the fact that there's a PDF that might not be itself accessible that is the issue?
So it's the PDF that might not be accessible itself. So it's how the PDF is created, it's what's inside the PDF, and it's also the link journey to that PDF.
Right.
So imagine if it's hidden in 1,000 different links, that's not accessible. You want it right there on the page. This is the marketing, like instead of saying click here, for example, so say discover marketing report 2025, make sure it's actually searchable. So if we think about people with screen readers as well, and this is why alt text is really good on imagery, one, because they're ranking really highly. So Google's CEI's conference a couple of months ago, they were really booming about accessibility, which is why I'm absolutely screaming about image alt text, because they're really being searched highly. So in terms of PDFs as well, they're starting to really rank because everyone has them. Google's like, yeah, everyone has them, we should probably be more accessible. So it's how you get to that PDF on your website, on your socials, on your email marketing, and what's inside the PDF that Google is really crawling, and so is AI as well. So obviously when you add a PDF in AI, they can read the document, and it's exactly what I'm saying. So it's how you get to that PDF and what's inside the PDF.
So it's not an issue that the PDF itself is gated. The AI Google and stuff can actually still access it. Fab.
Yes. Yeah.
Thank you.